Hi, I was watching a film called The Last Shaman on Netflix, and it's about a young man who's around about 22, and he became incredibly depressed. He's the offspring of two incredibly high achievers in the medical profession, and yet their son got incredibly depressed. He started taking antidepressants, and he couldn't really feel anything. So he decided that if he doesn't feel any better, then he's going to commit suicide. He gave himself 6 months. And because it seemed like a sensational story, some of the journalists actually followed him, and it was all filmed over the 6 month period. And this shaman gave him ayahuasca and put him through hell. But he found that majority of the people there were really in the business of making money rather than helping people. But he finally found somebody that could help him, and he did. And after this grueling 6 month trial, the last words he said when he came home is that it's not over. I've come off my antidepressants, but I'm going to take one day at a time.
It seemed to represent to me was symptom management, was a kind of go back to sleep, James, and get back into the game.
My husband and I, being physicians, had the privilege to really know enough about the system to see what the flaws were.
The psychiatry division here is ranked the best in the United States, okay? So when I go and talk to the colleagues, the chairman of the department, and ask for a recommendation, I'm expecting to get somebody who's really exceedingly confident in this field. I had helped start a company that was from Rockefeller University scientists. One's a Nobel laureate, one's probably the leading neurobiologist in the country. Then I went to one of our board meetings when James was at probably one of his really low points, and the Nobel laureate for neuroscience, who started this company with me, said, Mason, you have to understand, psychiatrists have no real understanding of how the brain works. Okay? And he said, our weapons, our tools, our therapies, they're so primitive because of our fundamental lack of understanding of how the human brain works. When these drugs came out, it gave psychiatry a sense that they were like the other doctors who had good medicines, and so they prescribe them a lot. How many people do you know have been on an antidepressant for a year who can come off it and stay off of it? The desire to do that is fueled by time, money, and the pharmaceutical industry. There's no question that that is the case.
So when you are in the grips of depression, which I was a year ago, I wanted to kill myself. Brian next door, he was in the same kind of mess and he wanted to kill himself. Tracy, another one of my clients, in the grip of depression, and she wanted to commit suicide. And Sarita, another one of my clients. So there's four of us who basically had enough of life and couldn't imagine a life that was so traumatic, so awful, that getting through the day was bad enough, let alone try and redesign your life. So we go through life like Muppets. I was definitely going through my life like a Muppet, where you waste your time, you procrastinate, you try to do things to kind of remain happy. And his mom and dad in the film said that he asked one of the top psychiatrists about his son, and he said that psychiatrists really do not understand anything about the human brain. When psychiatrists could prescribe medicines, they started to prescribe more and more of them, and that gave them credibility. But he said they are very primitive tools. We really have no idea what we're doing. And this is coming from the top psychiatrist in the United States. So psychiatry is kind of pseudoscience or made-up science. Every year, psychiatrists hold a meeting, and they put more and more acronyms or labels. The book called the Diagnostic Statistics Manual. And so every year they come up with new labels, like schizophrenia has now become bipolar. And they got new labels such as eating disorder, healthy eating disorder. Now, when was healthy eating a disorder? So they like to imagine that every one of us is bloody mad and we all need to be medicated. Anyway, the four people that wanted to top themselves and the full might of the health profession couldn't help them, all four of us, we now have a life. So getting through the day is easy now. So my question is that if you've actually gone through life like a muppet, a complete and utter muppet, where you have no aim, you have no ambition, you're just simply trying to make it through the day, how do you go from that state of being a complete and utter muppet to a self-actualizing person? Are you living the life to the best of your ability, using your time well, going to sleep at a good time, sensible time, like 10 o'clock, getting up at 6 o'clock, starting to work, starting to organize, starting to manage your time, which is the most difficult, starting to manage your time, trying to manage your day. In fact, most people can't manage their day. You know, doing certain things that you have to do on a daily basis, they can't do them. Managing a week, your month, planning ahead, doing to-do list, doing a checklist, all of those things that you should be doing, looking after your body. There's no point, you know, being ambitious and being able to, you know, having these big dreams if you cannot even look after your body. So looking after your body is number one priority. And that happens through nutrition, not through pharmaceutical drugs. So you need to sort out your nutrition, to sort out your supplements, and then you need to look after your mind. If you do not look after your mind, you're still not going to have a very good life. So meditating on a regular basis is important.
In the plant kingdom, we take plant medicines for an illness. It's not any one thing in that plant that heals the illness. It's a combination of everything working together. There is no magic bullet.
So nobody actually lives their life to the best of their ability. We kind of manage through life the best we can. So for someone like me, reached 66, got his pension, and I feel that I have nothing to live for. I feel that I've kind of messed up my life, made wrong decisions, bad decisions, and I find myself now at retirement and I don't like it. It's a horrible feeling. Now, how do you go from being a complete utter hermit, unlike the Last Shaman, who gave himself 6 months to turn his life around? I have given myself 3 months to turn my life around. That means that I have to achieve something by November of this year. Otherwise, what's the point of going on? So the idea is that I will actually replace my income that I get through seeing clients in a different kind of way where it will be a passive income. So I want to create a passive income for myself. But not only do I want to do that, I want to have so much fun in doing it, in the process of helping people. So my goal would be to create a system where I take hermits like me, people who are no hopers, who are not getting anywhere, who are maybe addicted to drugs or antidepressants, or maybe they are incredibly depressed like I was a year ago, hold them by the hand and then get them out of that nightmarish scenario and help them to become self-actualizing. Now, every one of those four people now is extremely happy.
I just wish his journey hadn't been so hard on him. You know, he's an absolutely spectacular human being.
So at least your mind is working properly. So if your mind is working properly, then you can actually work on other areas of your life, such as your nutrition, your supplements, and then managing your time. See, at one time, if we were out, we would just look at each other and say, oh, let's go eat outside. And then you go eat outside, and then let's go to cinema. And then we go to cinema, and then we come back late. And it would kind of go on like that. Let's go have some jolly. Let's go for a walk. Now, I can't do that. Yes, I have to do some things, such as look after my grandson. I have to help my daughter, but I have to do a video every day. And yesterday I was working till 2 o'clock in the morning trying to do this video. And would you believe it, even though I'm so dog tired, at 2 o'clock in the morning, I was actually loving it. The video that was making, rubbing my eyes, oh my God, I'm so tired. And I was loving every moment. So can you see that you can go from a Muppet to doing things, loving it?
Just behind my family, my getting sick was hardest on Kate.
He's so funny and witty and outgoing, but so smart and sensitive and intellectually curious at the same time. And there was an instant connection between us. He made everyone around him a better person. And he cared so deeply about the people in his life.
When we broke up, it was really hard for me. She was the biggest person in my life.
I miss the person that I knew and the way he made me feel. And now it's like sometimes talking to like a wall.
So anyway, watch this space and see if you can see this Muppet of a man, a hermit, a nobody. At the age of 66, he is a nobody. And in 3 months' time, by November, I will become somebody. I will have a life. I will no longer have to worry about the basic necessities of life, such as money, income. That will all be taken care of. I will be having so much fun traveling around the world, having a wonderful, wonderful business, just simply helping people become self-actualizing, taking Muppets like me, and turning them into high-performing people, and see if I can actually do that at system level, see if I can help other businesses like Fortune 500 people do the same. See if I can spread the word of truth around the world and help people get out of this nightmare scenario where health is now tightly controlled by just a few people and we are at their mercy. I want that system to change. I want to empower people to look after their own health and well-being rather than depend on other people. I want to teach people how to fish, because for long enough we have actually been given tiny bits of fish, okay, in a very controlled way, and it's a very expensive piece of fish. Whereas we are going to make health accessible to everybody, and we are going to teach people to fish themselves so they don't have to go bankrupt in order to look after their health and mental well-being, and we will tell them the truth. Okay, there'll be no hiding information, there'll be no lying, cheating, deceiving. We will be upfront and we will be honest, and we will tell you exactly what's out there, what sort of treatments are out there, what sort of modalities out there, how they work, how they don't work. In an open system like we have, the titans of information such as Google and Facebook will destroy you if you try and speak the truth.
I had to stop reacting or responding to their programming, their mind, their plan for James, because that was not working. But what kept me going was their hearts, because I knew it would destroy them and that they really did care about me.
The greatest thing that I've taken from James's journey is to be really proud of his courage to do something that was such an unknown and was potentially incredibly dangerous, and to sticking to his guns.
I don't think ayahuasca is to be worshipped. I don't think ayahuasca gives you anything that you don't already have in yourself. And that was a message given to me from the plant spirits, that I hold the key in myself to whatever it is I need to do in order to get well. I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Still alive. That's all we could ask for, huh? Didn't think it was going to happen, but here we are. Still in the woods. Can't get out of the woods. We're trying.
I think we all wish we'd had better, closer relationships with our own fathers. I think most men feel that way. I don't feel he's ready to do that. On the other hand, you know, he called me up on Father's Day and he came home for the weekend and we talked for an hour and a half on the back porch and he talked about the people around him and what he did. And that was the best conversation we've ever had. Ever. I mean, you know.
In a closed group or community like we're trying to set up, then you can speak the truth and there is no censorship. You can ask us anything you want and you will get the truth. So if you're going through life with, you know, medical problems, you're afraid of getting medical problems and you don't even know, you know, out of a vegetarian diet or vegan, out of a vegetarian diet or a vegan diet or a caveman diet, you know, which one is good? You don't even know what supplements to take, what smoothies to make. Well, all that will become pretty obvious when you're part of our community. So in our community, we will empower you to look after your own health. That's my goal. That's my ambition. Not only do I want to have lots and lots of people around the world, but I want to have fun doing it. We're all going to have so much fun. Health should be fun. It shouldn't be a horrible thing where you lose your eyesight, and you could have done something about it 10 years ago. So if you actually sowed the seeds of success 10 years ago, looking after your eyes and looking after your health, then 10 years later, you're going to reap the benefits rather than spending £8,000 having cataract surgery and then another £1,000 having laser treatment, and then that's still no good, and then spending another £10,000 on a retina peel. Well, that can all be avoided very, very simply if you embrace the idea of prevention rather than treatment. So we're no longer going to be in the area of symptom management. We'll leave those for the 1% of the people who want to control the world. We will teach people how to fish. So watch this space.